Good morning, good afternoon, dear viewers, friends, and colleagues. Welcome to the channel Innovative Sustainability. I hope you're doing well and enjoyed videos so far. Today, our guest is Federico Webster Magcalas, and he's joining us from Toronto. He will be talking about his company focusing on the skincare. Just to introduce Webster before he starts, he has a bachelor in science, specializing in clinical laboratory medical technology at Angeles University Foundation. Then he followed at Seneca College, Seneca Polytechnic, advanced biotechnology, and then followed to York University, where he received Bachelor of Science, specializing in biomedicine. So, Webster, it's wonderful to see you here. It's great to reconnect with you after many years. And welcome, and the floor is yours. Please begin.
Thank you so much, Marina. It's also great to reconnect with you. And today I'd like to introduce the company, Regimenlab. Let me just present. Can you see my screen?
Wonderful. Looks good.
Is it good now?
Yes. Full size. Yes, good. Full screen.
Okay, great. So, yeah, I wanted to introduce today the sustainability aspects of a skincare company where I founded with a colleague back in 2018. Um, so the company name is Regimenlab, and we focus on evidence-based skincare, making it radically approachable to people. Um, we're based in Toronto, and um, we're a pretty small company, and it's not perfect yet when it comes to sustainability efforts, but we always try to make sure that the decisions that we um, encounter have sustainability as a consideration. So the beauty industry has a lot of challenges when it comes to sustainability. It mainly comes out from the three aspects of uh, the skincare company, particularly the packaging, ingredients, and manufacturing. When it comes to the packaging, about 180 billion units of skincare are being produced annually, and most of that is produced in plastic. When it comes to ingredients, although recently there are more renewable sources for skincare ingredients, there are still some ingredients that are problematic, such as those derived from palm and those derived from petroleum. When it comes to manufacturing, on the other hand, there's a lot of wastage because we wanted to ensure that products are produced close to aseptic as possible. Um, this is where water wastage comes into play. Now, on the side of customers, um, skincare is sort of adjacent to fashion, where it's almost similar to fast fashion trends, um, whereby trends sort of become an excuse to launch a skincare company. Trends come and go, and this is why we see a lot of newer companies solely focusing on ingredient, and after that ingredient fades, then you're left with a lot of unused products.
Mhm.
Now, we wanted to discuss the sustainability efforts that we do here at Regimenlab, involving the three factors. In terms of packaging, we always have to think whether or not we produce it in plastic, is it glass? We always have to balance between product viability or product quality versus renewable options. And this is where we have to look into the carbon footprint of each of the packaging that we have as options. Aside from the packaging, we also have to think about the shipping carbon footprint. And our shipping carbon footprint is thankfully negative because we opt for a higher priced shipping to offset the carbon footprint that it leaves. We also partner up with a company called TerraCycle. TerraCycle uh, is a company that accepts packaging from different industries, and they turn their these packaging into bags, into other sorts of products. Um, in terms of skincare packaging, I would say the most uh, non-recyclable part is the pump because it's made up of different um, types of plastics and even sometimes metal. Thankfully, nowadays, uh, more and more uh, producers of bottles are coming out with single origin or single material pumps so that like the whole thing is recyclable. In terms of raw materials, we have to balance between product efficacy and sustainability. Uh, when there's an option for a renewable source of an ingredient, we prioritize those kinds of ingredients, particularly byproduct ingredients. For example, there are a lot of byproduct ingredients that come from sugar production.
Mm.
Sometimes instead of instead of just throwing away these byproducts, they can be turned into ingredients for skincare, and actually they are one of the most effective ones. For example, betaine and um, also glycerin from vegetable and sugarcane um, sugarcane processing. We always have to
And
keep in
just,
mind.
yeah, I'm very sorry. Can I interrupt you for a second? You said airless packaging and you said working with like higher price shipping. Could you a little bit just elaborate on that?
Of
For
course,
yes, also
of
for the
course.
viewers. Yes. Sorry.
So when it comes to airless packaging, there are certain products that are more sensitive, and they have to be um, packaged where air doesn't come in contact with the product itself. However, airless packaging historically are are more wasteful because of the need for a piston pump and the need for a double wall um, in the bottle itself. Um, this is like the challenge with our company because some of our products have um, have a have a short um, lifespan currently, but we're working on it to so that like we would move away from airless packaging. We are looking into more sustainable airless packaging currently. There's newer technologies that um, do not involve a double wall, and therefore like it will become a more sustainable packaging. Now when it comes to shipping carbon footprint, um, there are ways to uh, offset the carbon footprint um, that's being produced when you're shipping a lot of boxes internationally. And our company is working through these efforts and um, opting for a more sustainable shipping by paying more for what we ship. Um, and I think one of the companies that we work with, they're what they do is like they offset whatever. So the shipping company itself is already carbon neutral, but aside from that, we still offset that carbon footprint again. So it's like almost double the offsetting of whatever we consume. Um,
Thank you
is
for
that is
question.
that
Yes, thank
question?
you very much. Yes.
Yeah. So now back to our raw materials. I think one of the major tenets when producing a new product is intentional formulation. What I mean by intentional formulation is that um, only the ingredients that are meant to be in a formulation need to be in the formulation. So there are no, we don't fluff our ingredient list with ingredients that may sound good to a consumer just because, just to make it more marketable. If an ingredient doesn't add value to a formulation, then we don't add that ingredient. And this speaks to the sustainability of the products themselves. Now, when it comes to manufacturing, aside from reducing the energy consumption, where when the formulation doesn't need to be heated, it doesn't require a lot of mixing. We also um, opt for the energy source of our company to be carbon negative. It's pretty much like our shipping carbon footprint. The source here that we opt for here in Ontario is more renewable, and we also offset the carbon footprint that we use for our energy. We're also aware of the water consumption during
Mhm.
manufacturing. So there's a lot of water wastage because we wanted to ensure that the products um, are properly formulated and they're close to aseptic as possible. And like in science, most science, this results to a lot of water wastage. But we are shifting towards more meaningful and more intentional water consumption when it comes to our production. So we can't talk about sustainability without talking about accessibility. So, and these are the two major factors, or yeah, factors of accessibility that our company uh, has as a value. So the first one is economic accessibility. Uh, Going into skincare, I know that I know that most skincare products are valued too high, and some are even considered like luxury, where they exceed like hundreds or sometimes even $500 just for a cream or a serum. Now, what we want is to make these products more accessible to people by combining as many effective ingredients as possible into a single serum to simplify their skincare routine. Case in point, our Level Serum, which is our brightening serum, um, uh, in order to in order to compete with the active ingredients that are present in a single bottle, you need to buy 5 different products um,
Yes.
that uh, are valued sometimes even more singly compared to our product. For example, here you have 5 different products that total to 276 versus $41 serum singly. Um, you have a question, Reina?
No, it's just impressive because when you said like sometimes $500, what I see here sometimes reach thousands
Yeah,
of dirhams. So yeah, even like if you convert, yes, it's like 400 maybe, but some of them like pricing higher, so you can reach closely to 1,000 Canadian dollars easily. So literally, you're absolutely right. Price is like accessibility, and then the question is okay, investment is there, but will you have an outcome? Do you see the result? So I think, what you just said, meaningful and intended formulation is when you want to reach the result and also provide a reasonable price that's it's affordable. And also you're right about routine. You don't want to have too many bottles because it's wastage.
Yeah,
It's not possible to consume them, and it's contributing to landfill at the end. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And the other factor in economic accessibility is access to medical grade products. Although that medical grade doesn't really have a defined meaning, um, we because our focus is on science-based ingredients, most of the times the published um, data are in products that are considered medical devices. So dermatological products are normally that normally would undergo a drug claim, and they would need to undergo a lot of clinical trials, which would uh, hike up the price to hundreds. But we take those studies and formulate our own version of our product to make it more accessible at a lower price point to people, because we focus on skin problems. Uh, uh, for example, um, one of the things that we focus on is barrier damage, and we know from a lot of skincare research and from our own tests that physiologic lipids, for example, ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids, um, are being depleted on our skin, and
Mhm.
applying them at a certain ratio, at a certain percentage, would help the skin repair itself um, after 8 hours. So, knowing this, um, uh, we formulated our moisturizer to include these components at a high percentage. And we were the first ones in the skincare industry to have uh, these physiologic lipids at a very high percentage. Um, Normally, back in 2018, this type of formulation was only available as a medical device, meaning it's sort of exclusive to dermatologists and at a high price. But thankfully, these days, when we first started that in 2018, more and more people have come out and produce their own version of this product. Um, at the same time, we're we're also looking into other forms of these medical devices. They call them medical devices. However, they're sort of they're the drug version of the skincare products, because it's easier to apply for a permit as a medical device rather than going through the whole drug claim.
That's
Um,
interesting concept. Yes, yes, it's very interesting concept because in fact it's not a device. It's a formulation that they claim as device, I imagine, right? How it's
yeah.
mm, so
The other part of accessibility that we lean towards is information access. So we do a lot of skincare testing um, using gold standard devices. I like my device. I like my machines, which I got from you when I was doing my internship. And we sort of early on in our lifespan, we invested highly on these gold standard devices that measure the hydration in the skin, or measure the transepidermal water loss. So transepidermal water loss is the measure of moisture loss in the skin. So the
Mhm.
higher the value, the more damaged your skin barrier is. Um, so these types of gold standard testing would allow us to formulate products that are more objective. That's more objective when it comes to seeing the effects, and not just formulating them by mixing what sounds good. So
I see, I
um,
see. You measure basically, right?
yeah,
And as you go. Correct.
exactly. Because we like to um, our decisions are um, based on objective numbers rather than just just making decisions based on what's trendy. And a huge part of this is education, educating the customers on what ingredient actually has effects on the skin and what ingredients are not really effective,
Mhm.
because informing the customers and making sure that they're well educated when it comes to buying skincare also benefits us a lot, because it makes them more discernible, makes them more harder to influence when it comes to trends. And this plays into sustainability, because there's always newer trends that come out of the market, and more informed customers are more resistant to buying newer products, newer brands, newer ingredients, just because it exists. If it doesn't have a scientific basis, then the more informed customers, um, the more uh, discerning customers can avoid that cycle, can avoid that fast fashion consumerism that we see these days. So, um,
Agree. Agree. Yeah, I think I would just add to that, maybe if time permits, just very, very briefly. I just recorded the video to basically give a framework for the channel and explain what sustainability is, like all the 17 sustainability development goals that UN put to for all of us actually in 2015. And one of them was responsible consumption. And I think what you mentioned just resonates so like just spot on because it's how much we consume. Like, do we have enough? But then if we have enough, don't over stash in terms of um you know material, food, any other products that we feel it's important and necessary for daily activities, but like not to overdo with this because at the end they they basically disintegrate and they end up in landfill, and all that is again waste generation and so forth. But also it's in a sense like no respect to people who actually made them. Like those products could go to people who actually need them, and
yeah,
this value would be utilized. So it's beyond just economical aspect and social aspect and environmental. There is also morale there, and so what you just said, it's like resonates. So I wanted to comment on that. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, and there's a lot of challenges for sure. We're a small company, and we only have a few employees, but we're growing. And I think as we grow, we have to always keep these sustainability uh, tenets in mind. And yeah, so as mentioned, what we aim for is to have a more of a disruptive innovation in the market. Uh, Basically, we wanted we want to do more of our own research and invest more into more objective gold standard equipment for us to develop um, uh, more disruptive technologies. Um, One of the key projects that I'm I'm leading right now and hoping to talk more in the future is regenerative medicine. There
What would
are
be
a lot,
great? That would be
yeah,
super. Yes, yes.
there are a lot of things that we can do uh, to uh, to uh, dive into regenerative medicine. But what I'm most excited about is the use of luciferase assay. So luciferase assay is basically is based on this gene from firefly, which makes them luminescent. So we can use this technology to study effects of actives or active ingredients on the skin cell and to know which
Mm,
active working on at the DNA at the genetic level. So this would allow us to properly discern which ingredients or yeah which active ingredients and which genes uh, they're activating. So I'm excited to talk about that later. And
definitely.
there's a lot going on in always in a skincare company. In conclusion, um, yeah, we are excited about the future, but we always have to pay attention to these four tenets of sustainability, the ecological integrity, looking into uh, biodiversity maintenance, resource efficiency, balancing out between what balancing out between the things that we use today and making sure that there is enough for the future generations. We also need to look into the economic efficiency of uh, of the company, not making sure that our economic decisions would ensure a sustainable outcome and intergenerational equity comes into play as well, where we need to think about what we leave behind. We need to think about our legacy, and every decision that we have need to make sure that what we leave behind is a positive outcome. And finally, sustainability is not complete without making sure that there is equal access to people, whatever walks, whatever walk of life they have, um, that they could achieve their full potential um, because of equal access to resources. So yeah, thank you very much, Marina, for letting for inviting me to your YouTube channel and talking about sustainability in a skincare company.
Thank you so much, Webster. It's great. I think it's also great opportunity to introduce your company, all the efforts that that have been done, and also the fact that it's affordable for consumers and something where you put a lot of effort on getting scientific meaning for that before you proceed. So that's also important to highlight that it's done with precision and so forth. So I think the you still share the screen.
Oh,
If you
sorry, I can
remove,
share.
yes, yes, yeah, can remove, yeah,
Oh,
perfect.
sorry. Um,
So,
slideshow.
so I think it's great to end up here because this is ecological integrity, economic efficiency, social equity. And as I said, I just recorded the video talking about that, and it would be a second one on the same topic. But I think in your company, you have all these aspects covered, social equity, access for people, all walks of life to have access, make it affordable ecologically, thinking green chemistry or thinking that, this is healthy ingredients, they coming from plants. And so it's natural to the earth when if it ends up in the landfill. And economic
Yeah,
efficiency, of course, scaling up is something, I guess it's in progress as the company grows. But generally it's helping out to, stay in business, and of course, wish all the best with that. Great products are necessary because there are lots of things on the market, just like you said, but it doesn't mean that they're all healthy. They can be trending and people chase this because it's consumerism. It's actually, kind of exists. It's not a positive thing, but it's there. And educating consumer to make better solutions, better choices, and that helps everybody. So it's all full cycle, ecological, economical, and social. Yeah, gives full cycle. But it's interesting you mentioned about intergenerational equity. It's yes, access for all ages. So that's also good thought. And you're right. At some point, we're thinking like what we're leaving behind, and it's important to have it, from the get-go, like you mentioned in the company, you're thinking that way, and producing something that is vibrating to those values. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Anything else you would like to say? I think you will have maybe 2 minutes, 1 minute or 2 minutes.
I think that's it. There's a lot of like newer technologies when it comes to regenerative medicine, and uh, I think it when it comes to its relation to sustainability, there's a lot to talk about there. So I'm excited to talk about it in the future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think we'll end here, dear viewers. Thank you so much for watching us. And if you like the video, please subscribe. If you like the channel, please subscribe. All the, count. Every vote counts. Every subscriber counts. And Webster, I hope to see you soon. And we'll record a new video. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
And
much.
bye. Bye for now.